Good morning, honored guests. Welcome to Case Western Reserve University's annual Commencement Convocation. Following the British custom, a procession for a ceremony such as this commencement may be led by an official bearing a mace or staff, or supervised by a marshal carrying a baton or other symbol of office. A mace is a symbol of authority originating in the military tradition and carried by a marshal. In universities, the mace may be of any length and is carried by the university marshal on all ceremonial occasions. The marshal's mace in our university is patterned after the baton carried by the drum major of a Highland pipe band. The Case Western Reserve University mace was presented to the university by President and Mrs. Lewis A. Tepfer in May 1979. It is made of walnut with a sterling silver crown embossed with the seal of the university. The mace was designed by William Stearns of Potter and Mellon. The medal worn by the president was a gift of President John S. Millis at the time of the 1967 federation that created Case Western Reserve University. The chain was originally made for a Western Reserve University President's Medal and was the gift of students in Adelbert College. The robe worn by President Snyder signifies her rank and authority as the chief official of the institution, rather than reflecting her academic credentials. The president's robe bears the seal of the university and 4 velvet bars known as chevrons on the sleeves. Standard doctoral robes feature only 3 chevrons. Since 2003, a version of this custom regalia has been worn by our doctoral and professional graduates. This ceremony includes the garb of participating faculty and students, a colorful relic of medieval scholastic tradition. The origins of academic dress date back to the early universities of the 12th and 13th centuries. The long gown evolved from the monk's habit, and the hood from the cowl that monks wore over their heads. Some legends say the mortarboard has origins in the skull caps worn by those officiating at religious services. Others say the cap represents a scholar's book and came from Oxford University. The tassel, worn on the square of the mortarboard, developed from the 15th century when caps and hats came into fashion. The various gowns and hoods preserve the style of their medieval origin and indicate by color and design the degree and the institution by which the degree was conferred. Black is the basic color for gowns in the United States. The bachelor's gown is distinguished by its long, open sleeves, the master's by its oblong sleeves, open at the wrist, the doctor's by its full sleeves trimmed with bands of velvet. The velvet on a doctor's gown may be black or a color distinctive of the disciplines to which the degree pertains. The academic hoods vary in length according to the degree and are lined with the colors of the institution from which the degree was earned. Hoods of Case Western Reserve University are lined with blue and silver. The yoke of the hood is faced in a color that indicates the field in which the degree was earned. Colors representing doctoral degrees offered at the university include white for arts and letters, blue for philosophy, golden yellow for science, green for medicine, purple for law, lilac for dentistry, pink for music, brown for the fine arts, citron for social services, apricot for nursing, drab for business, and orange for engineering. The academic procession is led by Presiding University Marshal Robin Dubin, President Barbara R. Snyder, and members of the Board of Trustees. The platform party includes 3 honorary degree recipients and other award winners. The platform party is followed by members of the university faculty and emeriti faculty. Leading the faculty lineup are the distinguished university professors, identified by their position in line and by their medals. The remaining faculty process in order of the date of the first degree earned. The heraldic banners have their origins in medieval custom and were originally used to identify institutions during both battle and ceremony. The banners of Case Western Reserve University have been designed to signify each of the current schools and the college, united by the seal of the university. The banners are carried by senior graduates of Mortar Board, the National Honor Society. The convocation speaker today is Beth Mooney, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Cleveland-based Key Corp. Beth Mooney joined Key Corp in 2006 as Vice Chair of Key Community Bank. In 2010, she was named President and became a member of Key Corp's Board of Directors. She has been Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Key Corp for the past 8 years. Mooney graduated from the University of Texas in 1977 and earned her MBA from Southern Methodist University in 1983. She has been recognized by Forbes magazine as one of the world's 100 most powerful women and by Fortune magazine as one of the top 50 most powerful women in business. Mooney was the recipient of the Corporate Responsibility Award from the Foreign Policy Association for leading Key Bank's civic leadership and community outreach. In 2017, she received the Women of Note Legacy Award from the Cleveland Foundation for her outstanding business, civic, and philanthropic leadership in Greater Cleveland, and she was named American Banker's Banker of the Year. During the convocation ceremony, we will present 3 honorary degrees. Beth Mooney has been Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Key Corp since 2011. She made history as the first female leader of one of the 20 largest banks in the United States and has earned renown as one of the industry's most ethical and civic-minded leaders. She has more than 35 years of experience in retail banking, commercial lending, and real estate financing. David Skadden is a 1980 graduate of Case Western Reserve University's School of Medicine, a professor and chair emeritus of the Harvard University Department of Stem Cell and Regenerative Biology. He is a leader in stem cell research. Through his leadership as co-founder and co-director of the Harvard Stem Cell Institute, Skadden has worked toward defining novel therapies for blood disorders and contributed to improved treatment for cancer patients. Peter Van Dyke retired from architecture firm Van Dyke, Westlake, Reed, Laskowski after more than 35 years as partner in charge of design, but not before leaving his mark on the Cleveland area landscape. Nationally known, some of Van Dyke's most recognized local projects include Blossom Music Center and A.J. Celebri's office building. He also led the restoration of historic buildings and spaces in Cleveland and beyond, including the Cleveland Federal Reserve Bank and theaters at Playhouse Square. In addition to our honorary degree recipients, more than 2,000 candidates will receive diplomas from the university today. Degree candidates from the graduate and professional schools are presented to the president in the order in which each school was established in the university. The undergraduate students will be presented last in today's order. Honored guests, please rise for the academic procession. Honored guests, the presiding university marshal, Robin Dubin.
The 2019 Commencement Convocation ceremony of Case Western Reserve University is hereby convened. Please remain standing for the national anthem and for the invocation. Please remain standing for the invocation delivered by Rabbi Edward Succo, Rabbi at the Shul in Pepper Pike, Ohio.
This is the day that God has made. Zeh hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismechavo. Let us celebrate and rejoice on this glorious and precious day. To our Muslim sisters and brothers who enjoy this day during the holy month, we offer you our sincerest good wishes for a Ramadan Mubarak. Friends and family, may we savor these moments and enjoy the success of all of you, our beloved graduates. We come together today in your honor. We celebrate you and what you have learned. We extol your accomplishments as you receive your hard-earned degrees. We give thanks to your professors and deans, instructors and teaching assistants who have shared their knowledge, skills, and expertise. We celebrate the opportunities you have had and the opportunities yet to be. Now we look forward to tomorrow as you go forth to meet and conquer the challenges that are ahead. Our hearts rejoice with you. We revel in your achievements, and we trust in the good you will bring to an unknown future. As the proud father of a daughter who will graduate from the law school this afternoon, and speaking on behalf of your parents and grandparents, your brothers and sisters, your family members, your teachers, for all of us who have been blessed to watch you grow and learn, we ask only this of you. Take what you have learned and now teach us, lead us, and guide us. Bring us continued joy and renewal. Let your good works be our delight. Our voices join together in a chorus of praise and thanksgiving, and may you and we glory in your good fortune. Now you are poised to leave the consecrated classrooms of instruction, the sacred labs of discovery, the sanctuary of the library. Let your learning be a lamp to guide your way. Let your knowledge be a light to illumine your path. Please take your knowledge and turn it into wisdom. For wisdom is like honey. It is sweet and nourishing. It gives hope and life. This is our prayer for you. May the source of life guard you and protect you. May the Holy One of blessing be with you now and forever. And may you go forth in peace. Amen.
Please be seated. The president of Case Western Reserve University, Barbara R. Snyder.
Good morning. I am honored to congratulate the Case Western Reserve University class of 2019. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you, our graduates, their families and friends, our alumni, members of our esteemed faculty and staff, our distinguished award winners, the trustees of the university, and our honorary degree recipients. I am pleased to welcome members of our Board of Trustees who have joined me on stage, Board Chair Jim Wyant and trustees Sam Jadala, Larry Sears, and Emeritus Trustee Robert Madison. Our board provides invaluable leadership, outstanding support, and unwavering commitment to Case Western Reserve. We thank you for everything you do for our university. I also want to acknowledge and thank our inaugural Vice President for Inclusion, Diversity, and Equal Opportunity, Dr. Marilyn Mobley, for her 10 years of thoughtful, dedicated, and passionate service to Case Western Reserve, also her alma mater. She has made lasting change on our campus and inspires all of us to continue to advance diversity and inclusion across the university. We are fortunate that after a much-deserved sabbatical, she will return to her faculty position in our Department of English and will continue to introduce students to the work of the remarkable Toni Morrison. Dr. Mobley, please stand. I am now delighted to invite our board chair, Jim Wyant, to share a few words with us. A 1965 physics graduate, Dr. Wyant was the founding dean of the University of Arizona's College of Optical Sciences, where he serves as professor emeritus today. He also founded or co-founded 4 companies, holds 10 patents, and is a member of the National Academy of Engineering and the National Academy of Inventors. Serving on our Board of Trustees since 2010, Dr. Wyant's exceptional support of Case Western Reserve is evident throughout our campus, from the Wyant Athletic and Wellness Center to the Wyant Gateway and the Wyant Collaboration Floor at the Larry and Sally Sears Think Box. We are immensely grateful for Dr. Wyant's invaluable leadership. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. James Wyant.
Well, thank you, President Snyder. Today, I am pleased to share my personal congratulations to all of our graduates and welcome their families and friends, my fellow trustees, alumni, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests to today's ceremony. Now, as I stand here today and reflect on my own graduation from the Case Institute of Technology 54 years ago, I take great pride in knowing that throughout the many changes we have witnessed on our campus during those years, what remains central to this university is our enduring commitment to students. The university's commitment to students appears all across our campus, in classrooms, athletic fields, laboratories, residence halls, and performance spaces. Now, as we celebrate your accomplishments today, I invite you to reflect on the opportunities presented to you during your years as a student, and think about how you can remain connected to Case Western Reserve University. So, congratulations to the class of 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. At each commencement, we are honored to celebrate our ROTC graduates, their academic accomplishments, and their service to our country. This year, we have 3 graduates. Yuji Hu, receiving a bachelor's degree with a major in political science. Robert Robinson, receiving a master's degree in social administration. And Anna Thompson, receiving a bachelor's degree with a double major in chemistry and political science. Anna is a distinguished military graduate, an honor given to the top 20% of cadets nationwide. Will the 3 of you please stand and receive our gratitude? It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium our Provost and Executive Vice President, Ben Vinson III.
Thank you, Madam President, faculty, students, and families and friends. The commencement program includes brief biographies of all of today's award winners. The Frank and Dorothy Hummel-Hovorka Prize is awarded annually to a faculty member whose remarkable achievements in teaching, research, and scholarly service have benefited the community, the nation, and the world. The prize was created by the late Mrs. Hovorka, a longtime friend, honorary trustee of the university, and 2009 honorary degree recipient. Her husband, the late Frank Hovorka, was for many years a distinguished member of the faculty of the Department of Chemistry. This year, our Hovorka Prize winner is from the College of Arts and Sciences. Madam President, on behalf of the Hovorka Prize Committee, I present Dr. Philip Taylor, Perkins Professor of Physics and Distinguished University Professor from the College of Arts and Sciences.
Professor Philip Taylor, you are an internationally celebrated physicist with an extraordinary academic record, a devoted teacher and mentor, and a stellar university and community citizen. We are fortunate that you have served on the faculty of our College of Arts and Sciences for nearly 55 years. You are renowned for your research on a broad range of subjects in theoretical condensed matter physics and have a keen interest in the intersection of science and society, including the effect of fallout from atmospheric tests of atomic weapons on infant mortality, fuel cells, and climate models. You've published more than 200 journal articles and have mentored more than 50 doctoral students and postdoctoral fellows. You also have 6 scientific phenomena bearing your name. As a faculty member here, you have served as a dean, a member of the Faculty Senate, a regular participant in our commencement ceremonies, and as a leader of special university events. You had a special connection to the late Mrs. Hovorka as you both led the 1987 Michelson-Morley Centennial Celebration, which was a meaningful and memorable series of scientific, artistic, and cultural events, including a symposium that drew nearly all living American Nobel laureates in physics. For these many impressive accomplishments, Professor Taylor is a fellow of the American Physical Society and the American Association for the Advancement of Science, as well as a recipient of the William Fowler Award for Distinguished Research from the American Physical Society. Professor Philip Taylor, I proudly confer upon you the Frank and Dorothy Hummel-Hovorka Prize for 2019 in recognition of your many important contributions to Case Western Reserve University, to our nation, and to the world. Congratulations.
Madam President, on behalf of the Honorary Degree Committee of the Case Western Reserve University faculty, it is my distinct honor to present candidates for degrees honoris causa. The first candidate is Dr. David Skadden, recipient of the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Dr. Skadden is a brilliant scientist, committed humanitarian, and proud alumnus of Case Western Reserve University. As a practicing hematologist-oncologist, he is a pioneer in stem cell research, and his work has led to new approaches to bone marrow transplantation. He is committed to patient understanding, as exemplified in his medical memoir, Cancerland, which offers insights into the science of cancer, but also considers the effects of the disease on patients and those who care for them. Cancerland was named an Amazon Best Book of the Month, and about it, the Wall Street Journal wrote, quote, "For all the insight he offers into the hard science and thorny logistics of studying cancer, Dr. Skadden's most moving passages consider the effect of the disease on the people who suffer from it and those who care for them." Dr. Skadden is the Gerald and Darlene Jordan Professor of Medicine at Harvard University and the co-founder and co-director of the highly successful Harvard Stem Cell Research Institute. He is the founder and director of the Center for Regenerative Medicine at the Massachusetts General Hospital. He is a member of the National Academy of Medicine, the Board of External Experts for the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, and a former member of the National Cancer Institute's Board of Scientific Counselors. He has received multiple honorary degrees, awards, and memberships in honorary societies.
David Skadden, for your many accomplishments and contributions as a pioneer in stem cell research, as a founding director of the exceptionally productive and successful Harvard Stem Cell Institute, and as a brilliant communicator of medical science to lay audiences, and on the recommendation of the university faculty and the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, to bestow upon you the hood of this university, and to grant you this diploma.
Madam President, on behalf of the Honorary Degree Committee of the University faculty, I present Peter Van Dyke as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. Peter Van Dyke is an award-winning architect and historical preservationist, but also a man who thinks a great deal about the meaning and functioning of a city. As an architect in Cleveland for more than 50 years, Peter is responsible for the pioneering designs of numerous institutions in Northeast Ohio and beyond. Among these are the Blossom Music Center, the Anthony J. Celebrezze Federal Building, and numerous corporate headquarters and medical facilities. As a citizen, he says he feels, quote, a strong obligation to help breathe new life into old buildings and preserve what is still useful and valuable for future generations to enjoy. In that vein, Peter has been a trailblazer in neighborhood revitalization by leading the restoration of several of the finest historical buildings in the region, including the Cleveland Federal Reserve Bank, the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, and the highly successful Playhouse Square Theater District. He initiated conversion of Cleveland's warehouse district with his design for the Hoyt Block complex. Born in Indonesia of Dutch parents, he grew up in Venezuela and Curaçao before he came to this country as a teenager. A man of many talents, Peter received a master's degree in architecture from MIT, served in the U.S. Army, and was a Fulbright scholar in Italy. Van Dyke is a fellow in the American Institute of Architects and has been awarded the Gold Medal of the Ohio chapter, its highest honor. He received the Cleveland Arts Prize in both 1969 and 2016.
Peter Van Dyke, for your remarkable accomplishments as a brilliant architect and historical preservationist who has been instrumental in shaping the architecture of Cleveland, and for your many exceptional contributions to the arts and cultural life of Northeast Ohio. And on recommendation of the university faculty and vote of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to admit you to the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, to bestow upon you the hood of this university, and to grant you this diploma.
Madam President, on behalf of the Honorary Degree Committee of the University faculty, I present Beth E. Mooney as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Ms. Mooney is among the nation's leading banking executives and the first female CEO of a top 20 U.S.-based bank. She is celebrated for her expertise in retail banking, commercial lending, and real estate financing, and has held executive positions at numerous banks before her historic appointment as chair and CEO of Key Corp in 2011. At the helm of Key, Ms. Mooney has launched successful cost-cutting programs, enhanced commercial banking and consumer lending, increased investment in community revitalization, and developed products and services for underserved customers. She also led the most significant acquisition in the bank's history. Ms. Mooney has increased the diversity of Key's workforce, including in her leadership roles. Under her stellar leadership, Key has launched products to benefit low-income customers, such as free checking accounts with no minimum balance and overdraft protection, and has committed to investment of $16.5 million in community development in 16 states over 5 years. Ms. Mooney shares her considerable experience and expertise with many of Cleveland's civic, cultural, and business organizations. Her numerous honors include being named the 2017 Banker of the Year by American Banker, the world's 100 most powerful women by Forbes, and one of the top 50 most powerful women in business by Fortune, and receiving the Corporate Responsibility Award from the Foreign Policy Association and the Cleveland Foundation's Women of Note Legacy Award.
Beth Mooney, for your many extraordinary accomplishments and contributions as a visionary leader in banking and a trailblazer in creating pathways for women and underrepresented people. And on the recommendation of the university faculty and vote of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to admit you to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, to bestow upon you the hood of this university, and to grant you this diploma. We are fortunate to welcome Beth Mooney, one of our nation's leading banking executives, a stellar champion of diversity and inclusion, and a passionate and engaged civic leader, as our convocation speaker. When bestowing with an honorary degree just moments ago, we provided you with ample evidence of her extraordinary career. When she arrived at Key in 2006 as vice chair and head of Key Community Bank, she quickly impressed everyone she encountered in Northeast Ohio. As chair and CEO of Key, she has made even more progress in advancing Key, now the 13th largest bank in the United States. And she is renowned as one of the industry's most ethical and civic-minded leaders. In an article in American Banker, Ms. Mooney said, "We will be judged by shareholder metrics, but that starts with doing the right things the right way." If we really put our customers first, our employees and our communities first, do the right things by them, then our shareholders win. Key has a far more diverse workforce under her leadership, with 36% of the top positions and 44% of the board seats held by women and people from underrepresented groups. She regularly shares her wisdom with our students at the Weatherhead School of Management through a course on executive leadership taught by Diana Villamoria, KeyBank professor and chair of our Department of Organizational Behavior. The students said the following about their experience interviewing her and her team. She leads by example, to inspire others to do the right thing, to work hard, to dedicate themselves to their community and their industry. She first does all these things herself. As we do with many successful people, we look to Beth Mooney for wise counsel, which I know she will impart this morning. I will share with you some recent advice she gave to women in an interview in Fortune magazine with business journalist Susie Garib, also a trustee of Case Western Reserve University. I think it applies to all of our graduates. She said, "I never said no to a challenge. I never said no to an opportunity. Have enough confidence in your ability to work hard and make good decisions and go into the unknown. And I think you will learn more than you ever imagine you can learn, and build confidence by accepting those challenges instead of hanging back and saying, 'I'm not ready,' or 'I don't want to do that.'" I couldn't agree with her advice more. I want to thank Ms. Mooney for all that she has done for banking, for the Northeast Ohio community, and for our university. It is my honor to introduce our 2019 Convocation speaker, Beth Mooney.
Good morning. And thank you, President Snyder, for that wonderful introduction and for inviting me to speak here today. But first, I want to acknowledge your transformational leadership and your commitment to this university, its students, its communities, and a values-based education. We are so very fortunate to have you. And I'm delighted to be with you here today on this momentous occasion as you celebrate your graduation from this great university, truly one of Cleveland's treasures, as well as on the national and international stage. And I'm joining you not only as a speaker, but also as the recipient of an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. So I share in the joy and will have a memory of this day as well. And I would like to congratulate all of you on your accomplishments, and congratulations to your families, your friends, your professors, and your mentors as well. Although this is your day to celebrate, they also deserve some of the credit, because you couldn't have come this far without their help and support. They all stand with you today, and today would be a good day to let them know how much you appreciate them. And I think the best way to thank them is not just achieving success in your life, but in achieving success in how you live your life. Not what you achieve, but how you achieve it. In other words, what you do may define your accomplishments, but how you do it will define you. But before you can show the world who you are, you have to know who you are. As a graduate, and no matter your career or calling, it is important to have a strong sense of yourself, to know who you are, and to truly understand your personal true north. By making the right choices for you, and by always doing the right things the right way, you'll find happiness. And I have found that this is the best path to a strong personal brand in the eyes of your colleagues, your clients, your loved ones, and perhaps most importantly, yourself. You may be talented, ambitious, and full of potential, But if the people you work with or the people you work for have a different perception of you, your task will be much more difficult. That's why it's important to manage your own personal brand and to make it as strong as it can be. Your personal brand will also be strengthened by learning to see the big picture and helping others to see it as well. You have to view the world as a game of chess, not checkers. You'll need to look at the whole board, think several moves ahead, and think about how your actions will play out on a grander scale. In whatever you choose to do for your career, all of the greatest contributors have that ability. Those who contribute the most also have a passion and a commitment to a cause greater than themselves. I believe that passion is the spark, the engine, if you will, that can change a community. Indeed, I believe it can change the world. It has been said that passion is the genesis for genius. And I would tell you that in life, you will be faced with obstacles and with people who can only see what can't be done. You can't give up on your passion if things don't go your way. You can't lose heart or grow bitter at the twists and turns on your journey. It has been said that the cynics will be the loudest voices, but I promise you, they will accomplish the least. Your passion is your power. Use it to stay focused, to work long and hard to achieve your goals. Your passion will fuel your dreams and lift your spirits. It will help you and those that you influence to soar. Passion is a very popular subject for commencement speakers. And at this point, you might expect me to say something about finding your passion. And I would say that you can't sit around and wait for your passion to find you. You must go out and find it. Some of you may have already found your passion, and that is a wonderful gift. But there is part of the path ahead that is still the passion and the purpose of how you will apply your training and your degree and how you will bring it to life. And I would speculate that many of you are still waiting. And my advice to you would be to make it your job to discover what your passion is. Your passion won't necessarily come from inside. Many times it will come from outside. And what I mean is that you can't do this in your head. You have to get out there and try different experiences. Experiment, if you will. We learn who we are and what we are capable of by testing and learning, not in theory, but in practice. If you're observant, some opportunity, some challenge, choice, or problem will present itself to you, and I say, embrace it. The experiences you take on, combined with some fire in the belly, as I like to call it, will help you realize your goals and find what truly sings to your heart. Your passion will shape your life. It will define your mission and calling. And if I could use myself as an example, I would tell you that when I graduated from the University of Texas, a career in banking was not what I had in mind. But I had a problem. I was a woman, graduating in the middle of an economic recession, and I held a bachelor's degree in history. It was dawning on me that my degree was not an entitlement to a job. In fact, the first job I landed out of college was as a secretary. I was Phi Beta Kappa and had graduated summa cum laude, and when I interviewed, they wanted to know how fast I could type. While we can laugh about that today, the fact of the matter is that was how it was for women of my generation who were starting out in business. So I landed my first job as a secretary in a bank. That's why, as I'm standing here today as the first female CEO of a top 20 U.S. bank, that I believe we have changed the world. I didn't see that coming. But that's why I believe that we have changed the world over the course of a generation. And while the playing field is not totally level yet, we have come a long way. Women and diverse leaders are better educated, more prepared, and have more opportunities today because of the courage of trailblazers who have made diversity and inclusion part of their mission. And this university is one of those trailblazers. I look forward to the day in our future when the fact that I was the first female CEO of a top 20 U.S. bank becomes the footnote, not the headline of my career, and that will be a great day indeed. So for my second job, I decided that I was intrigued by banking. But when I applied to bank training programs, I was turned down flat. But I wasn't in the mood to take no for an answer. So at one bank, I was given the opportunity to meet with the head of the training program. I sat there in his office, and I badgered, and I bickered, and I begged until 3 hours later, I just plain wore him down, and he finally gave in and offered me a job. But I wanted that job. And as I said, I was not about to take no for an answer. So I was given the chance, and my banking career was underway. And I was on my way to finding my passion. But he gave me much more than a job. He gave me an opportunity. He made it a condition of my employment that I go to school at night and earn my MBA. And without that credential, I would not be standing here today, and I owe it to him. And I'm deeply grateful that I had the opportunity when I was named CEO to reach out and to personally thank him. Somebody has to believe in you. Somebody has to give you the opportunity, even if in my case it was just to get me out of his office. It made a difference. And what you do with the opportunities given to you in life is always part of the story. So if I can continue to use myself as an example, one of the first lessons from my own experience is acquire the credentials you will need for success. Your degree is just that, but don't stop there. Continue to go after the opportunities that have the most potential to open the greatest number of doors for you going forward. You are at a crossroads where your choices, your plans, and your efforts to augment those credentials really matter. Choose well, and don't sleepwalk through the opportunities that you encounter along the way. And I would also say that once you find your passion, don't take no for an answer. Go out and do what it takes to succeed. Work hard and then work harder. And when you get the chance to lead, do so with your best personal commitment to be part of the solution and to add value. I would tell you, do it with passion or don't do it at all. And just remember that there will be failures and missteps along the way. There is an old saying, those who make the fewest mistakes make the least progress. You must not be afraid to try. And as I said earlier, the only path to your true passion is by hard work, experimentation, and taking some risk. And that means being open to change. Change is constant in a world with ever-accelerating technology and ever-evolving expectations and experiences. This notion of embracing change brings to mind one of my favorite sayings. If you don't like change, you're going to hate extinction. So for your generation, that has never been more true. To close, I'd like to share my own philosophy in the hope that I may give you things to think about in terms of leadership and life. First, always be your best. Never settle for anything less. If you can say that you always did your best, you'll never be sorry. Someone once gave me some graduation advice that I've never forgotten, and that is, life is either too long or too short not to be happy at home and at work. And I think a big part of being happy is knowing that we are being and doing our best. If you follow this advice, you will always be able to look back with pride instead of regret. Second, be of service. Giving back to your community is not only our responsibility, it is an opportunity to make a difference. Your community needs your talents just as much as your career does. You will always be glad that you made service part of your personal tradition. And finally, be grateful. Gratitude gives us dignity and grace. There is no room to be unhappy if you lead with a heart full of gratitude. And as I said earlier, there is no better time than today to say thank you to those who have helped make this possible for you. And never forget that your education at Case Western Reserve University has given you the fundamental tools to be the leaders of tomorrow. You have been inspired, prepared, and empowered to be leaders. Now, the rest is up to you. Our community, our nation, and our world need you and your collective talent. My generation will pass the torch to you. And that torch I reference comes with opportunity and obligation. You are members of a global, diverse, and more equitable world than the one we inherited. Going forward, your generation will be entering a truly transformative time for leaders who have more choices and more challenges than ever before. You will be game changers. You will make a difference. And as I close today, I hope that I have used that proverbial torch to light the path ahead for all of you as you embark on this next chapter of your life. Let nothing dim that light inside of you. I wish you every success, and I wish you a legacy as strong as your remarkable potential. Congratulations, class of 2019. Your future is bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth, for sharing what you have learned during your extraordinary life and career. Your advice that we should view the world as a game of chess and not checkers, and that it's how you do things, not just what you do. Our graduates leave today full of possibility for what they too can achieve as they enter the next stage of their life's journey. You have inspired all of us today, and for that, Beth, we are grateful.
The deans of the schools and colleges will now present candidates for degrees to be conferred today. Also to be presented are graduates whose degrees were officially conferred in August and January and who have returned to participate in today's ceremony. Dean Pamela Davis will present candidates from the School of Medicine.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the School of Medicine, including the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree Doctor of Medicine and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. Vice Provost Charles Rozek will present candidates from the School of Graduate Studies.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the School of Graduate Studies candidates for the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Public Health, Master of Science, Master of Science in Anesthesia, Master of Engineering, or Master of Science in the fields of engineering.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Public Health, Master of Science, Master of Science in Anesthesia, Master of Engineering, or Master of Science in the field of engineering, and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the School of Graduate Studies candidates for the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts or Doctor of Philosophy.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts or Doctor of Philosophy and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. Deans Jessica Berg and Michael Scharf will present candidates from the School of Law.
Madam President, we have the honor of presenting from the School of Law candidates for the degrees of Juris Doctor, Master of Laws, Master of Arts, or Doctor of Juridical Science.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Juris Doctor, Master of Laws, Master of Arts, or Doctor of Juridical Science, and admit them to the obligations, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. Dean Kenneth Chance will present candidates from the School of Dental Medicine.
Madam President, I have the honor to present from the School of Dental Medicine candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Medicine or Master of Science in Dentistry.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Doctor of Dental Medicine or Master of Science in Dentistry and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. Dean Grover Cleveland Gilmore will present candidates from the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Social Administration or Master of Nonprofit Organizations.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Science in Social Administration or Master of Nonprofit Organizations and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. Dean Carol Musil will present candidates from the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing candidates for the degree Master of Nursing, Master of Science in Nursing, or Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Nursing, Master of Science in Nursing, or Doctor of Nursing Practice, and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. Dean Manoj Malhotra will present candidates from the Weatherhead School of Management.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the Weatherhead School of Management candidates for the degree of Doctor of Management, Master of Accountancy, Master of Business Administration, Master of Engineering and Management, Master of Science in Management, or Master of Science in Positive Organizational Development and Change.
Will these candidates please rise?
By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree of Doctor of Management, Master of Accountancy, Master of Business Administration, Master of Engineering and Management, Master of Science in Management, or Master of Science in Positive Organizational Development and Change, and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated. The undergraduate candidates from the Weatherhead School of Management, the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing, the Case School of Engineering, and the College of Arts and Sciences will be presented by Deans Manoj Malhotra, Carol Musil, Raghu Balakrishnan, and Timothy Beal, respectively.
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the Weatherhead School of Management candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Accounting and Bachelor of Science in Management.
Will these students please rise and remain standing?
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
Will these candidates please rise and remain standing?
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the Case School of Engineering candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
Will these candidates please rise and remain standing?
Madam President, I have the honor of presenting from the College of Arts and Sciences candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science as described in the program.
Will these candidates please rise and remain standing?
These candidates, having met all the requirements of their course of study, have been certified to the Board of Trustees as meriting the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science as described in the program. By order of the Board of Trustees and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates their degrees and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Please be seated.
In recognition of the degrees just conferred, diplomas and the appropriate hoods will be presented by each dean at separate diploma ceremonies following this convocation. Graduates, I have just one more thing to say to you. You did it. Congratulations. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Allison Oginski, President of the Alumni Association of Case Western Reserve University. Allison is a dear friend of the university and a dedicated alumna, having earned her undergraduate degree in 2001. She has joined us today from her home in Colorado, where she is partner at a law firm, to provide the official welcome to our newest alumni.
Thank you, Madam President. On behalf of the Alumni Association of Case Western Reserve University, it is my honor to extend enthusiastic congratulations to all of our graduates. Today, we welcome you, our newest members, as you join more than 110,000 alumni in chapters and networks across the country and around the world. From New York, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, and Houston, to London, Paris, Beijing, and Tokyo, just to name a few. As you take the next step of your journey, you will continue the legacy of an alum of Case Western Reserve University. That legacy is one of excellence, innovation, service, and leadership. Our Alumni Association is full of people like you, exceptional, hardworking, committed, and aware. Importantly, our alumni give back. We honor those that pave the way for our successes and pass our rich history on to future generations as we continue to build the future each day. We encourage you to stay connected to each other, to the university, and to its faculty, staff, and students. And remember that no matter where your life and career may take you, the Alumni Association will always be here. You are always welcome at your home away from home, the Linsalata Alumni Center. And I expect to see you in October for homecoming and whenever your travels lead you back to Cleveland. Again, my heartfelt congratulations. We wish you all the very best.
Please rise and join us in the singing of the alma mater, which can be found on page 6 of your program. Our alma mater will be led by our singer, Madeline Yankel.
Shine on forever, Case Western Reserve, loyal and true are we. Your brave sons and daughters, your knowledge we use to make our mark on history. Our school days will cherish forevermore, a lifetime of friends from the start. Shine on forever, Case Western Reserve. You'll be forever in our hearts.
This concludes our convocation. Our marshals will now lead the graduate and professional schools to their next locations, which are listed on page 4 of your program. Undergraduate candidates will remain at their seats, and the undergraduate diploma ceremony will follow shortly. Guests should remain standing at their seats until the graduates exit the building. We will have a brief intermission before we begin the undergraduate diploma ceremony. Thank you.